All right, friends. So if you're watching live in the comments, please type in #live. And if you're watching the replay, please type in #replay. Just kind of getting my screen cleared up so that I can function without a lot of distraction. I tried turning off Do Not Disturb or turning on Do Not Disturb. I said, hey Siri, please turn on Do Not Disturb. And what happened? Do Not Disturb did not turn on. There are lots of calls coming through, and that's a little bit distracting. So Mercury goes retrograde officially. I think it's tomorrow. But as you know, there's a shadow period that happens uh, before it goes. And I have been feeling that shadow thing for the last several days, and it's been getting kind of more and more intense, and that's okay. I'm not complaining, because these are cycles, and really the key is to overcome and to rise above, always remembering that we are divine in spite of what is happening in the three-dimensional world. So I'm doing that, and I'm so happy that you are here with me. My name is Crystal Lynn Bell, and I'm the founder of Badass Butterfly Spiritual Life Coaching. I'm a master spiritual life coach and a high priestess of transformation. And that basically means I help women transform into the women they need to be so that they can manifest the love that they want in their lives, the excellent health that they want in their bodies, and the wealth that they want to manifest so that they can have everything they want, right? So this is really important. That's my job, and I'm here to help you. So I want to thank you all for joining this Facebook group. It is the Money, Freedom, and Power, the League of Badass Butterflies Facebook group. And I am live here every Tuesday and Friday. So if you want to set an alarm in your phone, or you want to put me in your calendar, every Tuesday and Friday at 10:30 a.m., I come in here live so that we can talk about what you need so that you can have the freedom to go where you want, to be free in your time so that you are in ownership of your time, the power to command your life and the confidence that goes along with it, and of course the money, the money that you need to support you. Now look, we all know that our Heavenly Father and our Heavenly Mother are there supporting us. Thank you, God, for your support. And we also know that being a human here on Earth means that we have to have a connection and a source and a way to generate income. Now, we know that a traditional 9-to-5 job is the route that most people take, but we also know, and we know that that feels really safe. There's an illusion that having a 9-to-5 job is really a safe bet. But if you're like me, a 9-to-5 job actually stifles your energy. It's like, for me, it was like going to work with a big, soggy, wet, electric blanket thrown over my head. Okay, if you can imagine what that looks like and what that feels like, it was terribly uncomfortable. I didn't fit. I didn't look. I actually liked my patients. I worked in a dental office, but I did not like my coworkers. I had no connection. This is just me, okay? This is Crystal Lynn. I'm not saying that you all don't have connections with your coworkers. I'm sure you do, and I hope you do. because that can be very rewarding. But for me, it was an experience of not being connected to my coworkers. And honestly, because I was in upper management and I was in entrepreneurship, I was in ownership. I couldn't actually have that kind of a relationship with my employees. I had to actually hold really strong authority in this particular environment, which was quite unruly. So it wasn't cool for me to chum around and get involved with people in that kind of super friendly, like we're allies on the same page way, because we weren't, okay? Managers and employees cannot always mingle in the same way. So for me, working on a 9 to 5 job was really uncomfortable. And look, the other thing, and the most important thing, is that when you work on a 9 to 5 job, there's only so much that you can do with your income. And even if you're making, let's say you've got a decent salary at $60,000 a year, or you have a great salary at $100,000 a year, that still becomes kind of the ceiling of how much money you can make. So unless you have a job that's really paying you 250,000, 350,000, $500,000 a year, it's really challenging to live. And if you are living in New York City, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've got several clients who are living in studio apartments, and they're paying anywhere from $3,500 a month to $4,500 a month for them and their family in a studio apartment, right? At that much money. When you're living like that and your grocery bills for the three of you are, $1,500 to $2,000 a month, it is very difficult to make less than $250,000. So when you kind of look at things from that perspective and you look at your 9 to 5 job and they're paying you whatever they're paying you, and I respect it because I've owned businesses. I understand that there needs to be, for every person that you pay, there's also the tax bill that goes along with it. And there's all sorts of other fees that go along that you have to pay. And, you're the one who worked and created this thing. Maybe you don't want to give all your profit away. All right. So the thing that I want you to understand is that having a 9 to 5 job is great. But what we want is for you to recognize your authority. And especially if you have been called to something wonderful, okay, like you've been called, meaning you have an idea that Goddess has put into your mind about what you want to do for yourself. The key is not to ignore that or not to push it away, and certainly not to minimize it or invalidate it like, oh, it's just a thought, or I could never do that. That is not what this is all about, okay? Today's session is about, and everything I do is about empowering you to say yes to your dream and to say yes to your purpose. All right, so look, I'm gonna pause because I am already on a roll talking. I haven't even checked in to see who's here. I see that Demita is here. Hi, Demita, and Liana, and of course, Rebecca. So if you're here, please sign in with a hi, Crystalline, or let me know you're here with a hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, this is really important for me. Please type in hashtag replay. It's also really, really, really helpful if you give the video a thumbs up or a like or something like that. Any kind of an emotion, an emoji would be really, really super helpful. So thank you. Hey, Demita. So today's session, our topic today's session is rich in self-worth, strutting toward your $1,000,000 destiny. Rich in self-worth, strutting toward your $1,000,000 destiny. So as we get started with the topic, what I want you to be thinking about is this. Are you living your life financially, okay, today our emphasis is on the finances and the money. Um, are you in a just getting by mindset, like survival mode? Or are you in more of a, I am destined for millions, or I've got plenty to do what I want? That's the question I want you to think about. And I'm just going to say this because it's popping into my head. What I want you all to be very, very, very careful of, especially if you are just getting by, and if you're in survival mode, the danger is complacency. The danger is being comfortable with your discomfort. Okay, it's very super dangerous situation because it's really hard to break out of your comfort zone. Because your comfort zone may not be all that uncomfortable, right? I mean, it might not be very comfortable. It can be wildly uncomfortable, but because it's familiar, and it still feels safe because it's familiar. So what is familiar is extremely safe, and what is unfamiliar is extremely dangerous. This is how our psyche works, and this is really important for you to take on as you go forward in your work, okay? And no matter what it is you do. So, in the comments, I want you to tell me what your big secret dream passion is. What do you want to do? Maybe you want to travel the world for a year, right? And not have to work. Go ahead and say it, okay? What is your big dream that maybe you're even afraid to say it out loud, or you're afraid to even think it because maybe it seems so far off? But I want you to say it anyway, because what we're working on is like strutting toward your your $1 million empire, right? Or your $1 million destiny. And in order to do that, you have to be able to acknowledge that you would like to be that woman who has millions. Now, forget what you think that woman looks like, okay, or how you think she is in somebody else's case. Think about it for yourself. How would you be if you had millions? Because this is really important, because how you would be is what you will want to become. And a lot of people tell you that, oh, money changes you. People get money and they change. And actually, that's not really true. You might have a lot more money to spend, so your spending habits might change, but you as a person don't necessarily change. What money can do is give people an opportunity to see more of who you are, because you're not busy surviving any longer. So when you have, let's say that you had $0 and you were struggling to pay your rent every month, and then you go and you have $1 million and you don't have that struggle anymore. So all your friends saw you struggling and scrambling and working and begging and pleading and, hustling. And now all of a sudden you don't have to do that, and you have other things that you get to do. So it's not that the money changed you, it's just that you have a different focus, right? So if you were a kind person before you had a lot of money, and you were a generous person before you had a lot of money, you're still going to be a kind and generous person without the money. I mean, when you have a lot of money. Okay. Okay. I don't know what I just said. Sorry, guys. I just lost track of what I wasn't listening to myself. I was thinking about that. What I meant to say is, if you were broke and you were nice and cool, when you have money, you'll also be nice and cool. Now, what's popping into my head is that person who, when they get the money, they get, maybe there's a fear that comes up that says, I'm afraid I'm going to lose this money. And so maybe they become miserly. But the thing is, they were probably miserly before they had a lot of money. It's just that they didn't have an investment, right? So all of this is to say that really you stay the same person that you are. So with that being said, let's take a look at what I want to offer you all today. And again, tell me what your big secret passion is. And Demita says to become financially stable and to travel. I really love that, Demita, because financial stability is so much better than financial freedom. And here's why I think that's true. Financial freedom means it actually doesn't mean that you have enough money to do what it is you want to do. Financial freedom is kind of like um, you have a lot of money, but it comes and goes in its own kind of flow and funnel. And you might have it today, you may not have it tomorrow, but you're free regardless, right? And the reason I love the maturity of your financial stability comment is that financial stability means that there is consistency. Like when you say, okay, my budget is $3,000 a month for all the things I need to do, or if you say my budget is $10,000 a month for everything I need to do, or $20,000 a month for whatever I need to do, stability is stability. I've said it's $20,000. My finances meet that every month. If you have a new bill that comes in or there's something you want to add in, financial stability says, I'm adding that in. I'm increasing my income to make that, right? So there's a mindset that you have where you are expanding along with your desires, and your budget or your income is expanding along with you. There's maturity and not this kind of whimsy that goes along with freedom. So I really, really appreciate that. All right, Jackie, so glad you made it. All right, so I have for you all 3 tips that will help you strut, strut. Okay, walk in your fancy high heels toward your $1,000,000 destiny. So, what we want is for you to look in the mirror and see a $1,000,000 woman. Are you able, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see a $1,000,000 woman? Or do you see a $30,000 woman? Do you see a struggling woman or a woman of leisure? That's the question, right? That you have to ask. And what we want is for you right now to be able to look in the mirror and see whatever you see. We're not criticizing. If you want $1,000,000 and you look in the mirror and you see $30,000 a year, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that there's a gap between the millionaire you and the you that you are right now. So what do? Go get a job, ask for $1,000,000 a year, and boom, done, easy, live stream over, right? No, that is exactly what not to do. It does not work that way. Although, if that actually resonated with you and that said yes to you, then act on it. But what if I just said does not resonate with you? Don't worry, okay? Because there's something that we have to do, and it's a process. Now, this process is to get you looking in the mirror and seeing $1,000,000 in that mirror. Okay, $1,000,000 needs to be looking back at you if you want to manifest 1,000,000. What does that mean? Do you need to look in the mirror and see $1,000,000? Kind of. So what we have to think about is who you need to become in order to manifest $1,000,000. So, for example, when you look in the mirror, what do you need to know that you have accomplished that day? On a daily basis, what are the things that your $1,000,000 self does each day? Another question to ask yourself might be something like this. What are the rituals and the habits of my $1,000,000 self? You might also ask, what are the beliefs of my $1,000,000 self? What is my $1,000,000 self focused on most of the day? What is my $1,000,000 self feeling most of the time? What is my $1,000,000 self striving for each year? What are the goals that she sets for herself each year? So if you don't have $1,000,000 as your goal, that's already like, if you don't, you're like, I don't do goals, okay? Fine. The question you then have to ask yourself, well, is like, how is that kind of working to help you become and to get the thing that you want to get, right? So I have found that setting goals is extremely motivating and it gives me direction and clarity about what I want to do. Now, I'm also a believer that goals are nothing without a plan of action, right? So what you really want to be doing is making goals, making a plan of action, creating the habits you need to form in order to do those actions on a regular basis. Okay, so for example, my habit is to get up at 4 o'clock every morning and work on my business for 2 hours. Meditate and work on my business for 2 hours before I move, like before I get out of the bed. So I work, I get up, I meditate, okay, I write in my journal, and then I start doing my writing, all from my bed, all before I get up and do anything else, okay? It's a habit and it is powerful. It is how my business got started, and I have not worked for somebody else for over, it's been about 15, 16, sorry, it's not been that long. I stopped working for other people in 2007. So how long has that been? 2007, 2017. Oh, it's been 15 years. Okay. So that habit helps me follow my plans, right? And then it helps me reach my goals. Now, again, being that woman means that you have to have, okay, so in order to do those habits, okay, in order to do good habits, you have to feel a certain way about the habits and about yourself, right? So let's say that you decide you're going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you hate it. Is that a good habit for you? No, no. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning because it feels amazing for me. So it's a natural habit that works really well, okay? Maybe you're a night owl. And so maybe your energy for working on your business or working on whatever it is you want to create that's going to take you to $1,000,000, maybe starting on that at 9 o'clock at night is the best time for you. So between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, or like some of my clients who are night owls, their day might get started at 10 o'clock at night, and they just love working with that moon. They love the silence of the night. Maybe their day doesn't end until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That if it works for them, and it helps them be productive, and it's helping them become millionaires. And my goodness, of course they should do it. We should not be following anybody else's rules and creating our lives, okay? So making sure that your habits are doing what you need them to do is really, really important, okay? Um, and feeling good about those habits is important, and what you're thinking about this whole process is really important, and what you're focusing on during the day is important, and what you believe is really important, and thus who you are is really important. That's the main takeaway I want you to have today. So here's my first tip, all right? I should really be making sure that I'm following my outline and not just going off on a tangent, okay? Let me check in here. Jackie says, I want to own my own land where I build a mostly self-sustaining community and retreat focused on helping people heal. I think that is so beautiful, Jackie. And, you know, it's been a dream of mine to do that. I'm working on it as we speak. Buying property in Fiesole, Italy, which is in Tuscany, just north of Florence. And it is it's a dream that I can smell, taste, and touch it, you know. And that's what I want you all to be thinking about. I want you to be thinking about um what it is you want even to do with that $1 million, right? So, so wonderful. I love this as a vision for you. So let's get into those, into the tips. So tip number one is to strut your financial catwalk. And if you can imagine kind of showing off yourself, right? It's about, again, embodying that $1 million woman and walking like her, talking like her, dressing like her. I don't care if you got your clothes from Walmart. If you put them together with pride and with presence, and when you look in that mirror, it's like the kitten that looks in the mirror and she sees a lioness. That's what you want, all right? Because it's not really about the clothing that's on your body. It's what you're dressing yourself in your mind, how you're dressing in your mind. So what I want you to do for your home fun for tonight is to like get in front of your mirror and feel the energy of your $1 million self. And I want you to just strike a pose, okay? And do it with fierceness, all right? And claim your goal. And look, we can do this together right now. I'm gonna like look at myself on Zoom, okay? Look, the immediate thing I do is try to fix my hair, like, okay. So silly, like that has nothing to do with it. So what I want us to do right now, I'm just looking at myself, okay? And I want you to look in your mirror, look in your phone, if you can, all right? Or do this later. But look at yourself, see your worth, see the value you bring to the world, and understand the only thing that stops you from becoming a millionaire is a decision. It's not your race, it's not your gender, it's not the circumstances into which you're born. The only thing that stops you from being a millionaire is your decision to own that desire and to nurture it, to take steps on it every day. Might seem overwhelming in the beginning, one step at a time. That's all you need. Now, while we're talking about this, Rebecca, I need you to drop the link to Catapult Your Wealth, please. I want to invite you all into my year-long transformation program. It's called Catapult Your Wealth Revolution, okay? That's the offer. And it's $97 a month to join. Now, what we're going to be doing in that program, We're going to be mapping out your personal self-healing journey, particularly around money. All right. So many people suffer from money blockages, subconscious money blockages, ancestral money blockages, and even just the old drama like that's in your head and active now, your parents' beliefs about money that have been imposed on you, struggles that you've had that are still lingering there, all kinds of money issues are going on. Well, what we're going to be doing in this program is mapping those out and working through them so that you can get free. In order to be a millionaire maven, you've got to be free of like limiting beliefs that hold you back, okay? And wounding around money and energetic deficiencies around money. They are holding you back. You have to let go of those things, all right? Next thing I'm going to help you do in the program, all right, is ignite your creative and generative fire. What does that mean? Well, if you want to make $1 million, you can play the lottery, okay? Or you can go out and make that, create yourself a business that will bring you millions of dollars. Yes, you can. I don't care if you've never done it before. I don't care if you never thought about it like that before, but you can. All right, you can. You especially in this world of fast moving and technology and things that are here to help you. All right. All you have to do is say yes. And this, of course, is what we work on the program, getting you connected to that creative energy so that the ideas and the solutions and the plans and the intuition and the spiritual guidance can come through so that you can actually do this work, right? You can actually create this thing, and I'm here to help you in this process. Now, another thing that I help you do is to magnetize your heart energy, your heart center. So your heart is really, really powerful, okay? And what we want is a very open and clear heart chakra that is reaching out and pulling in the people that will pay you, the organizations that will support you, the ideas, everything that you need will come by your open heart. Well, the problem is that a lot of our hearts are blocked because what? Our minds are blocking our heart energy. Our heart is like, go over here, do this. And the mind is like, I don't have time for that. I don't have to, what are you talking about? That's so random. I'm not going to do that. Okay. This is exactly the biggest problem that we face. Our heart is strong. Our mind is narrow. Okay. So we work on creating the energy you need here in your heart, removing blockages so that your heart can be free of your mind. So you'll learn the difference between your mind and its logic and your heart and its feeling nature. Now, another thing that we do is we help you make really big, ambitious goals. And the problem is that so many people, like you're making $100,000 and you're like, I'm the first person in my family who's ever like hit six figures, and you're like, this is a really big deal. And I totally get that. It is a big deal, but that does not mean that that has to be the stopping point for you. Like you've gotten to your six figures, let's take you up to the high six figures and let's push that into 7 because you can, right? And if you feel called to do more in your life, then you will need the money to support you. And 100 grand it's very handsome, but it may not be enough to do what it is you really need to do. For some of us, it's still just surviving. All right. So making sure we set really big, ambitious goals. And then, of course, this is what I absolutely love, is helping you to start thinking about a potential business idea for yourself. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? I've been very blessed to be able to help people conceptualize their big dream businesses. And we use spirit, spirituality, intuition, and your feminine nature to help bring that through, talking to your spirit guides, communicating with, your higher self, communicating with your soul, and just doing all these beautiful practices to help you be able to do that. All right. So my program is called Catapult Your Wealth Revolution. And let me tell you something. This program is jam-packed with information and it's super inspiring. It's a year-long membership, and you can come into the membership at $970 for the entire year, which is incredible. Now, you might be like, okay, Crystalline, it's Christmas. I don't want to spend $970 on myself. Okay, spend 97, right? $97 a month is how much you pay monthly, all right? So if you want to save 2 months, right? Obviously, you get 2 months free. If it's $970, you pay $970 for 10 months, but then you have access for a whole year. So you get 2 months free. That saves you almost $190, right? 100, almost $190. I think that's more than $190. It saves you almost $200 for the year. And it's an incredible program. You got workbooks, videos, live streams. There are coaching calls that you can come on, right? We have 3 or 4 coaching calls, live coaching calls, and classes every single month. Where are you going to get all that support for just $97? Right? It's incredible. So I'm happy to offer that for you. And I look forward to you signing up. Rebecca, drop that link again, please, so that it gets refreshed. Okay? So I look forward to seeing you in Catapult Your Wealth Revolution. All right. So that was the first tip, right? To do a little bit of mirror work and proclaim your look, I'm saying your magnificence, which is kind of what I want to say. Proclaim your magnificence, right? Proclaim your millionaireness, your millionairehood, all right? Next thing is to create yourself a little mantra, right? A little mindset mantra. And instead of it being about like, well, maybe someday I could become a millionaire, like make a mantra that says something like, I am a wealth magnet. I am on my way to my first $1,000,000. I am strutting my millionaire catwalk today and every day, right? And you get up and you walk like a millionaire. Those kinds of things are really, really powerful for creating the internal shift that you need. All right. So that's my second tip. And the third tip is to become really, really in love with your goal. Now, this is not about being money hungry or money obsessed. The thing to understand about becoming a millionaire is, especially in my system, and this is why it's different than other, this is why it's different than other kind of approaches to becoming wealthy. My idea is that you become that woman first, and then the millions have to follow. And that's exactly how it works. When we do the work to really get into the self-image, the transformation that happens, it's not like, oh, everybody makes $1,000,000 in the year. No, but what starts to happen is people's relationships improve, their sex improves. I'm just being honest. This is what they've told me. So many women have gotten married. So many women have gotten pregnant where they couldn't before, okay? Doing this work, clearing the heart energy, clearing out the old trauma from the mind. Yes, body responds. All of a sudden, things that weren't working are now working, okay? But also, of course, how like within a week, of doing the program, of starting the program, they're getting things like my boss called me in and got in and offered me a raise. Like just from out of the blue. I've had so many people say that who have gone through this work. So it's not about that. It's about becoming the woman. When you say yes to the millionaire inside, the whole universe has to respond. Okay? So becoming in love with your goal is not about becoming in love with money. It's about becoming in love with the woman who needs to carry out that goal, right? Becoming in love with yourself, discovering who you are, loving her, honoring her, enjoying her, and reaping the rewards of being her. All right? Cool. All right, everybody. So look, on Friday, on Friday, Friday is the 15th. Oh, we're going to be looking at some of the limiting beliefs that are holding you back, right? And this is something we dive deep on in the Catapult Your Wealth program, because y'all know that what you're thinking on a subconscious level is controlling like 80 to 90% of what you experience in real life. So if you have subconscious limiting beliefs that are functioning and you don't know it and you're not dealing with them, you can't get ahead. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. All right. I thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in Catapult Your Wealth Revolution. Okay. I look forward to you enrolling and us getting to work together really up close and personal. It's going to be really fun. Or I'll see you on Friday. Or I'll see you on Friday. All right, everybody, go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and sign off. All right, bye for now.